Good morning, everyone. It's Mary Weber, Travel Guru Girl, and I'm bringing the meeting to you. Um, Most recently, we've been having meetings at Caprice Consignment, but I've been told by many ladies that they don't want to travel in the winter because you don't know what the weather is going to be like for driving, and they don't like to drive at night. So I'm bringing the meeting to you. The presentation that I would have given to you at Caprice Consignment, I am going to give to you right now. So, just as an addition to this, I wanted you to know that sometimes somebody will come to me and they said, "Well, I didn't know you could book that." I can book anything that you want. I have traveled all over the world. I've been to China, I've been to Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand, I've been to South America, I've been to Africa, and I've been to most places in Europe. I've also been on many ocean cruises and on river cruises. I have taken all of the courses for the things that I don't know so that it does make me an expert in a lot of different areas. I love to do custom trips for people, especially to Europe, because you may want to do, let's say, a river cruise, but you want to do something before or after because you've already paid for the flights to get there. So why wouldn't you want to add on? I can do cruises and I can add on to those cruises as well. So why not do that if you're already in a destination? So if you have questions about destinations, feel free to ask me because I probably know something about the destination because I've been there, or I have taken the course on it. So I'm sure that I can help anyone that's interested in doing this sort of thing. Now, obviously, I can also book all inclusives. I can book just a customized trip where I book the flights and the car rental or the trains and the hotels in a destination because you want to do an independent travel. So I can do any number of those things for you. Today, I have a presentation ready to go. So I'm going to just share my screen and let's see where it is. Okay, so I'm welcoming you to our meeting here. I'm just going to switch the slideshow so that it's from the slide and we're ready to go. So this is a presentation that I would give if I was meeting you in person. So in the comfort of your own home, you're able to watch this. And again, this is Glenda from Caprice and myself, and we set up this Caprice Girls on the Go about 3 years ago because we knew that women wanted to travel together, but sometimes didn't know how to go about it. Why would you book with a travel agent? So if the price is the same, why would you book online? For one thing, you have someone that you can call. I can tell you that when COVID hit and I had many, many clients going to many different destinations and I had to adjust their trips for them. I had to try to get refunds for them, and I was able to help everyone. It took months and months to do this work, but that's what a travel agent is for. Basically, we have your back, and I always have my client's best interest at heart. As I mentioned before, I've been to many places in the world. I've traveled as a single woman traveler for about 15 years for business and for pleasure. So I'm well aware of what a woman might be looking for when they're traveling. And there's also a lot more available than there used to be for single or solo women travelers. So don't be afraid to ask because there's certainly a lot more available to you now. I can customize and I can tell you what makes sense if you have something in mind because it's almost like a photographic memory. If I've been somewhere, I can say, no, that doesn't make sense at all. We should do it a different way. And we have many, many connections that you don't have when you're doing a search. I certainly recommend looking around on websites and getting an idea of a destination, particularly if you want to know what should I see, what should I do, that sort of thing. It certainly makes sense because then we can get down to the details when I'm working with you. So things to know, of course, you have to make sure that your passport is good for 6 months past the time that you're traveling. So if you're traveling next October, you have to make sure that it's good past 6 months, 6 months past 2023. So if it's going to expire, you better make sure that you get it updated. Always follow individual health measures and take care of yourself when you travel, because as we know, COVID hasn't gone away, but there's also other things that come to the forefront. Make sure that you get medical travel insurance. So make sure you read the fine print and have enough coverage for the place that you're going. There's many options out there for travel insurance. I personally can't sell it because you have to be licensed to sell travel insurance. Many companies still have vaccinated only tours. So if you're still concerned, that might be ones to look at as well. And when oil prices are high, you can always expect the airfare and the other tours to be up a little bit higher as well. So try to book as early as you can for this reason. So we know that we had winter a couple of weeks ago and it's only just become mild. So we know that if you want to get away in the winter, that you should be looking at booking now. And where could we go? Well, depending on what you want to do, it's a quick getaway. Maybe it's an all-inclusive. Maybe it's a cruise in the Caribbean. Maybe going to places like Palm Springs, Phoenix, Las Vegas, places where it's summer. So that would be Australia, New Zealand, Thailand, South America, Vietnam, Bali. Skiing, you could go, of course, if that's what you're into. Long stays, and a long stay means 2 to 3 weeks in one location. That could be Spain or Portugal or Croatia. Or you could start planning your bucket list trip, because these trips sometimes need more time, number one. And number two, they're usually more expensive. So maybe you have to save a little bit. Certain destinations have a finite number of people that they take. So if you're interested in a place like Africa, there's certain limitations on that. So for instance, you could go to Las Vegas. One example would be staying at the Link, $817 per person. That's your room, air, with WestJet. So there's many dates, many hotel choices. This was just one example for you. An example of all-inclusive, going with Sunwing from February 3rd to 10th. This is a room based on double, $19.25 per person, $23.55 for a person traveling by themselves. So again, there's lots of different choices out there. The farther you get into February and March, the more expensive it usually gets. If it's spring break, if it's the February break, if it's Christmas, if it's Easter, of course, they'll always be more expensive. One example here too, which was a very good deal for someone that wants to get away in the winter, wants to go to Hawaii. Hawaii has become horrendously expensive. This trip is a group tour, but it's fairly flexible. You get to see quite a bit on this particular trip. So you get 3 nights in Honolulu, 3 nights in Kona, 2 nights in Kauai, and 2 nights in Maui. Now, all of the dates that were previously listed, January and rest of February and March, are all sold out. This one is still available, but could be gone by the time you see this. It was $34.50 per person plus the airfare, or you could go in April. Otherwise, all of those other dates are sold out. Geo-Gadventures is a Canadian adventure company. They are offering up to 30% off in 2023 for trips before April 30th. So not all trips are on sale, but certainly quite a few are. So if you're interested in small group travel, generally there are anywhere from 12 to 16 people on their trips. Great company to go with. I'm mentioning this one because this one is on sale. It's the Local Living Amalfi Coast. I've shown this trip before in different times of the year. For April 22nd to 29th, it's only $19.97 per person sharing, plus airfare. That's 30% off. Now, what they do is they'll match you with another same-sex person. So 7 breakfasts, 6 dinners, 1 lunch. There's walking, it's active. So as of last week, there was 2 female spots left at 24. Oh, that's a different thing. Sorry. Anyways, 1997 per person. So if you're interested in that, let me know. You go to Pompeii and Capri as well. I've had a couple of ladies do this, and I have some more booked coming up in 2023. If you're interested in Egypt with Geo-Gadventures, again, in January, you could go roughly $3,059 plus air. This is an upgraded trip, and you would be matched with another same-sex partner, Cairo to Cairo, and it does do more inclusions, and you also get a 3-day Nile cruise with this. Again, with Geo-Gadventures, this is a Costa Rica adventure, February 19th to March 4th. It's with, they do a number of trips with National Geographic, and I actually did mine with them in Africa. So this is $38.19 plus air. It's 14 days, and it will take you to all the key spots. And it is a wonderful, wonderful itinerary for Costa Rica. So a nice hot destination, 14 days, really great time. Thailand, again, this is a National Geographic itinerary. They do offer other itineraries as well. So this is a little bit more expensive, but you're getting more for your money. It's a great solo trip, but also great for couples as well. February 19th to March 5th, 15 days, $48.99 per person plus air. Now, if you wanted a different itinerary for Thailand, there's lots of them available. I'm just showing you some that I recommend. Inca Explorer, again, this is a trip of a lifetime for somebody that really, really wants to go to Peru. Geo-Gadventures is an expert in Peru, so again, I've chosen the National Geographic one itinerary because it's suited to adults 60 plus or 55 and plus. So it's an easier achievable itinerary, and you get to see all the must-sees with this. Anytime that National Geographic is involved, you can bet that it's a great itinerary. Exotic Tours also offers Thailand, 15 days in the winter, anytime from January to April, and you're looking at $33.79 plus air in double occupancy. So it's a different kind of itinerary. And if you go for 4+ star hotels, then it's $38.65 plus air as well. And that's based on double. The one I wanted to talk to you about, which is a really good deal, is a long stay. So not sure what to do in the winter, want to get away, then you could possibly, now this is really late spring, so April 20th to May 11th. It is hosted by a couple who have been doing this itinerary, I think 3 or 4 years in a row, of course, not through COVID. They know the area well. It is hosted, and people usually go from Calgary, Edmonton, Toronto, and British Columbia. And so you're there with a bunch of Canadians. It's $25.99 per person from Edmonton, and that's your air and your apartment for this time period. With the host being there, this is only 60 kilometers north of Barcelona. So if you're adventurous, you can do stuff on your own, but the host will also give you suggestions of things to do. Plus they will offer some optional tours for pay. Okay, so great trip. I highly recommend it. I had 10 people go last year and they absolutely loved it. If you're looking at wanted to go to Spain, Portugal, and Morocco, there's a great option. And there's really, really a lot of itineraries that are available out there. I have just picked some at random. This one will do roommate matching if you want. April 15th to the 30th. It's with Cosmos, and you are seeing the key places, Madrid, Seville, Granada, Costa del Sol, and Spain, then Lisbon in Portugal. And then you're going to go to Rabat, Marrakesh, and Fez in Morocco. So certainly 32.54 plus air is a great deal. It's a 15-day trip. If you want to encompass more of the Mediterranean, then Mediterranean flavors might be of interest. I've chosen a date at the end of May, but there's other dates available. It's $32.74 per person plus air, and they will do a roommate match, or couples can go. It's just an excellent choice to go. And I'm going to just show you the map on the next screen. So as you can see, there's Rome, Assisi, Venice, La Spezia, where you get to see the Cinque Terre. You get to spend a little bit of time on the French Riviera, a stop in Marseille, then on to Barcelona, Valencia, and ending in Madrid. So this is a really taste of the Mediterranean. You get to see a lot, but if you are on a budget and you want to see a lot and you don't want to see it by cruise, this is an excellent itinerary. So Viking River Cruises has a promotion for 2023 until November the 30th. So you can get up to free airfare on many itineraries and reduce fares. So this is for European cruises. There's a bunch of different ones that they're offering. There is one complimentary shore excursion at each port of call. You have free Wi-Fi, beer, wine, and soft drinks with dinner and lunch, and visits to the key sites in these areas. So the first one is that I'm just giving an example of is the Rhine Getaway. Air is included. So if you're in a French balcony, and again, they might be selling out of these. When I looked, they were still available, but it can change because this is an excellent, excellent price. So a French balcony, $54.99. This is from Basel to Amsterdam. Or a window cabin is $41.99 per person plus air, not air, it's included. Or you can go in June, Amsterdam to Basel. Same itinerary, just going the opposite direction. French balcony, $54.99, and the window cabin is $38.99. So if you're really looking to save money, the window cabin might be the way to go. And one of the most popular itineraries, of course, is either going from Amsterdam to Budapest or Budapest back to Amsterdam. And that's a 15-day itinerary. Free air on this one, $69.99 per person in a window, but that's including your free air, and that's 15 days cruise. So all based on double occupancy. Pictures I have here are the ones that I most recently took in September on the Rhine, all the different castles, just great itineraries and things to see. So as I said before, river cruising, you unpack once. Most of your stuff is all inclusive. You are able to be in the center of most European cities, which is different than when you were taking an ocean cruise, because on the coast of Europe, you are often having to take a bus into your key city, which might be Rome or Florence. That's a 1 or 2 hour bus ride into those main communities. No formal nights. Boats are small. You get to meet the captain, crew, and the people on board with you, and there's no seasickness because you're not going really very fast, nor is the water very deep. So solo rates on cruise lines. So some of the cruise lines offer a solo rate. Viking doesn't very often offer a solo rate. This example is Avalon. It's going from Budapest to Deggendorf. So as you can see on the map here, Budapest, you're stop in Bratislava, Vienna, Dernstein, Melk, Linz, Passau. This is all key areas along the Danube. So it's part of the Danube. An example is April 3rd to 11th is 58.32 plus air. So that's the single rate. They have many, many itineraries that are active and discovery, so that would include hiking and biking. There's author cruises, famous authors, wine, culinary, active, history, garden, photography, beer, Christmas. So there's no end to the types of itineraries that are offered. So if you're interested in some of these other theme cruises, then you should ask me about it. Um, Avalon will often have the first 5 singles on a cruise. There'll be a solo rate offered. So don't be afraid to ask. And the other cruise lines from time to time will also offer a solo rate. Um, the Romantic Rhine, August 29th to September 5th. The solo rate is 5601 plus airfare. So again, this is same going this now. This is the Rhine going from Amsterdam to Basel. Ocean cruises. So the Caribbean, like when you want to get away in the winter and it's maybe you don't want to go on an all-inclusive, the beauty of going on an ocean cruise is that you get to go to multiple stops, get to see lots of stuff, and it's hot. So a Caribbean cruise in the winter, I used to take one almost every year when I worked for a different company. And as part, I had a work function, and then after that work function, I would take a Caribbean cruise. So I was able to see most of the Caribbean islands. So here's an example. On the Celebrity Beyond, January 8th to 15th, they have offer single rooms for people that are singles, traveling as singles, with a veranda, and it's $23.51 for that cabin plus air. So for a 7-day cruise, that's a pretty good deal. Holland America, Eastern Caribbean, Fort Lauderdale, Grand Turk, San Juan, St. Thomas, great itinerary, a single ocean view room, 1950 plus air. That includes your drinks and Wi-Fi and a shipboard credit. So these are very, on this ship, it's specific solo cabins for singles. Holland America also offers lots of different solo activities on board as well so that you can meet other people that are traveling alone. This other one, Holland America, February 4th to 15th, Southern Caribbean, great itinerary. Again, this is 11 days. So if you're going to travel or fly, I'd recommend taking the longer cruise if you want. Fort Lauderdale, St. Martin, St. Lucia, Barbados, Martinique, St. Kitts, St. Thomas, Fort Lauderdale. This is a super great itinerary. Lots and lots of beautiful islands to see. This is 3622 plus air and includes your drinks and Wi-Fi and $100 onboard credit. Now, there's going to be Black Friday sales. So these numbers, these prices can change on a weekly basis, and especially because there's going to be Black Friday sales. So if you're interested in cruising in the winter, then let me know whether you're a couple or a solo looking for an itinerary. I'd be glad to help you with that. Princess Cruises. So I talked about where could you go in the winter. So if you had Australia and New Zealand on your list, you might consider doing it by cruise. You've already got your room, you're being taken from place to place. So this is an excellent itinerary with Princess Cruises, January 29th to February 11th. It's in a balcony. It's $32.68 plus air. Based on double occupancy. So this is basically you need 2 people to go on this, and super great deal on this. You get your beverage package, you get Wi-Fi, and you also get your gratuities. So it's an excellent cruise. When you get to Sydney, what I would recommend is that you also add on to at least Melbourne and the Great Barrier Reef as well. And that's my picture of the Sydney Harbor. Highlights of New Zealand. So again, Geo-Gadventures. This is a land tour. So I just showed you a cruise. This is a land tour, and it's a roommate match as well. It's an active. You're very busy on this, maximum of 16 people. And as you can see the map, it takes you through all of New Zealand. If you're wondering about New Zealand, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's very similar to Canada, so very enjoyable place to visit. People are wonderful. Panama Canal. So if you had Panama Canal on your list, Fort Lauderdale to Vancouver, April 9th to 28th. Now this one is where the ships are leaving the Caribbean and going to Vancouver to start the Alaska season. So this leaves Fort Lauderdale and ends in Vancouver. So basically your longest flight is going to be to Fort Lauderdale, and you come back and you're in Vancouver. You can fly home from there. Balcony is 5342 plus air. Again, this is almost a 3-week cruise, so includes your drinks, and other cabin categories are offered, of course, if you want to spend a little less money. Although if you're going through the Panama Canal, I highly recommend a balcony. Canada. We talked about Canada before. A lot of people are interested in the Maritimes. It is more expensive than what you think it should be, but unfortunately in Canada, we do have to pay quite a bit to see our lovely country, especially to go down east. The wonders of the Maritimes and Cape Breton are offered at $41.29 plus air. All of your key locations are taken care of on this particular tour. Okay. Newfoundland and Labrador. So again, a very popular place to go. Again, it is a little bit more expensive, but this particular tour takes care of everything. It's supposed to be during the Iceberg Festival, which always sells out. I know a lot of people last year thought they could just go to Newfoundland and see it on its own. So unless you have relatives there, it was very hard to rent a car. It was also very hard to find a place to stay because a lot of tours or cruises or whatever have already taken the amenities, the hotel rooms. So it's very, very difficult to find stuff on your own, unless, again, you have friends or relatives that live there. Gate One is another company that I've worked with, and they are an American company. So they will do very similar itinerary. It will be less money, but it is in US dollars. So even the conversion of $22.49, and again, that's per person plus air. So $22.49 probably equates to about $3,000. This is a little bit shorter itinerary, but if you want to save a little bit of money, then this might be one that you might want to consider. Ireland. Ireland is very popular. So if it was on your list and you wanted to go with women only, this is offered as on June the 4th to 11th only. And it is with Travolga Tours, $3,065 per person plus air. Now, Ireland is offered by a number of different companies. I can find you many other itineraries, but I'm just showing this one because it's a women-only tour. There is no end to the itineraries that are available for Ireland. Egypt is another one that's on women's list. So again, a women-only tour. It's with Trafalgar, $39.75 next October 2023. So if you're thinking of that one, everything that you want to see is included with this tour in terms of sightseeing. So if that's on your list, you may want to consider booking that, and then you know exactly you've got a year to get it paid for. So let's plan for your bucket list. If Africa is on your list, you should be planning it now. Many itineraries are limited because of the amount of people that are allowed. So you could go to South Africa, Kenya, Tanzania. You might want to incorporate Uganda, Australia on another trip, Antarctica. The Arctic is also being offered now. So if you've traveled a lot and those things are on your list, again, you could be planning for a year from now. So I can do custom travel for any destination. We can add on to tours. If you don't want to do a group tour, we can just do the air, hotels, and trains, that sort of thing. If I can plan your cruise, and then we can do add-ons before or after. I can also do monastery stays in places like Italy to help keep the budget lower. So the pricing that I've showed you today can change, because as I looked up, it's been a couple of days. So, and again, I also said that there's going to be Black Friday sales. So if you're looking for something, please be sure to get a hold of me and I'll see what I can do for you. I do have a packing video as well. I did that a while back. And a recipe for pumpkin bars. And planning your own travel is like carving a pumpkin. It can be fun and everyone be impressed until you make a rotten choice. So I'm going to just get out of this stop share here. Okay, so that's a very broad things that are available for you this winter and some hints as to what you should be looking for 2023. I didn't touch too much on other European countries. So of course, if you've got London or Paris or France or any of those locations on your list, please be sure to let me know because of course I have access to everything. And perhaps what I showed you today isn't what you're interested in. But again, I have to try to give lots of different ideas for people, but also to let you know that there's lots available out there and that we can always find something that's applicable to you and your budget as well. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoy the video, and if there's something that you're interested in, please be sure to contact me, mweber@tpi.ca or 587-410-3765. Thanks again.